If you look at standard maps of the world, you will see vast stretches of empty land and open ocean. But in the most extreme geographical locations on Earth, those blank spots are intentional. The public face of the military consists of massive naval ports, sprawling recruitment centers, and televised press briefings. These are the locations meant to be seen. The true operational core operates completely out of sight. If a sudden global strike disables the power grid or a catastrophic attack hits the capital, the response will not come from traditional bases. The orders, the intelligence, and the counterstrikes will originate from a specific network of 15 highly classified installations. This isolation is deliberate. Absolute secrecy serves as the structural foundation, ensuring American military survival and strategic reach. To survive direct existential threats, military planners look underground. They require subterranean facilities built specifically for continuity of government and nuclear survival. Carved beneath the Pennsylvania-Maryland border, the Raven Rock Mountain Complex functions as the alternate command center. If the civilian leadership needs to relocate instantly, this site keeps the chain of command intact. 50 miles from Washington in Virginia, Mount Weather serves a similar purpose for civilian agencies. As FEMA's premier relocation hub, it physically sheltered senior government officials during the September 11 attacks. In Colorado, Cheyenne Mountain houses the hardened nerve center for the North American Aerospace Defense Command. From inside this granite fortress, NORAD monitors aerospace threats continuously, even through the fallout of a nuclear holocaust. Surviving a direct hit requires extreme engineering. The buildings inside the mountain sit on a grid of 1,300 giant steel springs, designed to physically absorb the seismic shockwave of a nuclear detonation. By burying these command centers deep inside solid rock, military planners transform passive geography into indestructible hubs, ensuring the government outlives any terrestrial catastrophe. While mountains provide defense, vast isolated flatlands are required for offensive engineering. The military utilizes the most desolate domestic ranges to develop and test classified aerospace and chemical weapons. At Groom Lake, Nevada, Area 51 serves as the historical and ongoing testing ground for experimental stealth and spy aircraft. Operating a facility in total isolation requires extreme logistics. Rather than driving, workers commute via the Janet airline, a fleet of unmarked Going 737s ferrying personnel daily from Las Vegas directly to the dry lake bed. Nearby, the Tonopah Test Range utilizes its extreme isolation for a different purpose. It operates as the primary site for sensitive weapons testing and nuclear stockpile stewardship. In California, the Naval Air Weapons Station China Lake acts as the sprawling West Coast laboratory. Decades of advanced missile and bomb development have taken place here, deliberately placed hundreds of miles from urban populations. Further north, the Dugway Proving Ground in Utah covers nearly 800,000 acres. This immense size, roughly equivalent to the state of Rhode Island, is a strict requirement to safely test lethal chemical and biological defense agents without risk of civilian exposure. In New Mexico, the White Sands Missile Range provides a massive footprint for heavy munitions. It stands as the largest overland instrumented military range in the Western Hemisphere, giving engineers thousands of square miles to track missile trajectories. Millions of empty acres provide the physical barrier necessary to invent and perfect the future of warfare, far from enemy observation. This hidden infrastructure extends well beyond U.S. borders. A global network of clandestine training sites, data vaults, and remote island outposts project American power worldwide. In Virginia and North Carolina, Camp Peary and Harvey Point function as interconnected training grounds. Clandestine operatives learn espionage, asset recruitment, and specialized explosive breaching behind secured perimeters. Harvey Point specifically facilitates high-stakes operational rehearsals. Prior to the 2011 raid in Pakistan, intelligence agencies built an exact full-scale replica of Osama bin Laden's compound on the base for SEAL Team 6 to practice their assault. Modern warfare relies heavily on cyber infrastructure, requiring physical vaults for digital intelligence. The Utah Data Center near Bluffdale serves as the NSA's massive repository, processing and storing intercepted global communications. Gathering that intelligence requires planetary surveillance. In central Australia, the Pine Gap facility controls a fleet of spy satellites, pulling down signals intelligence across Asia and the Middle East. For physical force projection, Diego Garcia sits isolated in the middle of the Indian Ocean. It provides vital naval logistics and a secure runway for launching rapid, long-range bomber strikes directly into the Indo-Pacific region. Establishing this pristine military footprint required total control of the land. In the 1960s and 70s, the indigenous Chagosian population was forcibly removed from the archipelago to clear the way for the base construction. At the extreme edges of the hemisphere, the Thule Space Base in Greenland and the Erickson Air Station in Alaska monitor the skies. Their harsh Arctic and Pacific locations serve as forward tripwires, tracking approaching ICBMs the moment they launch. This final cluster of outposts, listening stations, and bomber strips allows the military to watch, listen, and strike anywhere on Earth without relying on traditional, visible front lines. These 15 installations function as highly integrated, interdependent nodes within a single strategic command network. The operational flow is continuous. Intelligence gathered abroad dictates the requirements for Black Project weapons tested in domestic deserts, all commanded by leaders safely sealed inside mountains. The standard maps showing public forts, recruitment centers, and airfields represent only the outward, administrative face of the military. True power relies on geographical extremes. It is shielded by spaces buried deep in solid granite, hidden across unforgiving deserts, and positioned on inaccessible islands. Global dominance is achieved through this vast, invisible architecture, ensuring the mechanisms of command and control remain entirely out of public view.